Friends, Doc South, and I see where one of my videos, when I put it on YouTube, I filmed it on YouTube, and then I stuck it on Facebook, and people are saying they get through about the first 10 seconds and the darn video stops on them. So I better try to do a retake if I can. Not always so good at retakes, but we'll see what we can do. Once it's out of the bag, it's, the story. Well, I was going to say, this was, it was interesting because, it had to be about 30 years ago, maybe longer, probably longer. I was working on a roof at an asylum up in New York State. Yeah, no, I wasn't in it. I was not a patient, a resident. I was. We were on top of the building, installing repairing a roof, and I guess for one reason or another, I had to go down to the ground and check something out with our equipment on the, at ground level, and to get there, I had to climb down through a hatch, into a hallway, through a ward, and down to the street. And I guess I had worked in a state mental hospital for a while. No, not as a patient, not as a trustee. I was an orderly, believe it or not. And actually, I kind of liked the work. It was it was great fun. And, you do what we were there to do what we could to take care of the folks and give them a little sense of that we cared about them. And it was nice. Well, anyway, so I go down through the ward. It was a female ward, and which was fine. And I got to the ground, took care of what it was we had to do with the truck or our equipment, and I come back. Now, this was one of those old-fashioned asylums or institution. They were very big. They had huge wards, and the sometimes 200 people on a ward. A whole number, quite a few orderlies, nurses, doctors, psychiatrists, etc. And these places were built to last. They were very, very strong. Big, thick walls, the doors like that, if you're looking sideways at them to their edge. I go walking through the ward, and all of a sudden, I guess the ladies looked at me and they all started following me. They saw, number one, I don't think it was because I was so handsome. I know that's a fact, no. But I think they saw I was heading for the door, and I guess maybe they wanted to go for a walk too. So I saw the writing on the wall there, and I kind of hurried up, and they hurried up as well. The orderly, I had a key, and the orderly says, "Just open your key, get through, and shut the door. They're making a run for it." And and I said, "Yeah, I see." And I open up the door on the ward side, and then I run through the door and shut it. And when I shut it, I wasn't looking, and my hand was between the door jamb and the door. Yeah. And well, you can imagine, these were big, thick doors. They didn't stop for a lousy few fingers. They went right, and they got me. Yeah. Oh my God. It hurt so bad. It's all I can say. Oh, it's God. And my fingers are sticking out on the other side. And I think one lady is kind of licking at them. Yeah. And I said, and I'm thinking, oh my God, what if she starts biting them? And I worked the key, and it hurt so awful, but I had to push the door open, pull my hand back, and then make sure no one else's fingers were in the way and shut it. The orderly came out, and he says, "Man," he says, "I saw what happened. Your fingers are like an inch past the door." He says, "You okay?" I said, "Oh, it hurts so bad." He said, oh, he says, God, that looks awful. I said, yeah, don't it? Oh. Well, we're leaving soon anyway. I said, I'll just go see my doctor. He says, we got doctors here. But I said, no, let me go. I think I'll live. He says, yeah, man, to tell you. He says, man, you got some pain threshold. He says, I'd be screaming by now. I said, well, what are you going to do? And so, in any case, it was a long ride home. Any bump we hit, oh, my fingers went right through the roof. And I got home. Again, roofers start early, so I got home. It was maybe 3 o'clock. Back to my where I was staying, and I said, I got to go to the doctor. I showed, my mom was nearby. I showed it to her. Actually, I was staying at my parents' house, and she said, "Oh God, shit! You better get down to." I'll say Dr. C. Okay, I won't say his full name, although I don't think he doesn't practice anymore, and he was a great doctor, but still. And he looks. Mom looks at the fingers. I get in the car. I get myself down to the doctor's office, neighboring town, and luckily he didn't have too many people in the lobby, because they would have been barfing, looking at what my hand looked like. He says, "Well, you're next." Yeah. He says, "Come on in," and I was probably the last patient of the day. Good thing. And he says, "Well, what's wrong?" I said, "Look." Oh, he says, "Oh God." Oh, he says, "Oh, look at your hand." He says, "Can you move your?" I said, "Yeah, I can move that one." "Can you move the pinky?" "Yeah." "How about that one?" "Yeah, a little." "How about the middle?" I said, "Well, I won't flip you the bird, but I think that one's hurt the most." He says, "Yeah, okay." He says, "Look, these, if you're moving them, did it hurt?" Well, I said, "Yeah, it hurt when I move them," but he says, "Well, yeah, but they're not fractured. They're just hurt." "Okay, this one," he says, "I'm not too sure." He says, "Now, well, we won't get into flipping the bird and everything, but he wanted to see the finger just standing alone. I won't do it here because God might drive YouTube nuts, but he's looking at it. He says, "I think I know what I can do for this one." He says, "You're not fractured." He says, "Everything's lined up nicely. You might be a crushed here and there, but nothing you can do much about that." He says, "Okay, come on with me." And I said, "Well, what are you going to do?" He says, "Well," he says, I'm going to make like a little cast, not a cast, but we'll use some stuff to cling around your fingers and just keep them still. Okay, but this one, he says, the one in the middle is going to swell something awful. By nighttime, you're not going to know what to do. And I said, "Well, okay, what do you have in mind?" He says, "Well, you could go to the ER, but he says, honestly, I've seen this procedure done gobs of times in the ER. I've done it myself a few times. If I do it right, all the pressure will be relieved. If I do it wrong, you're going to go through the roof. But I got pain pills if you need them. You want one now?" I said, "No, not yet. I got to get home yet." "What?" He said, "You drove yourself down?" I said, "Yeah." "Oh," he says, "God love a duck. Okay. No pain pills till you get home." I said, You got it." Oh. And he says, "Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a paper clip, heat it on the Bunsen burner till it's red hot, and then I'm going to run it right through your fingernail. Now, if I do it right, all the fluids that have built up in that finger, your middle finger, will just squirt out, be a little bit of a mess, but nothing we can't handle. And that'll get the pressure off, and it will relieve the pressure for the next day or two." I said, "Okay." Now he says, "If I do it right, it won't hurt a bit." I said, "What happens if you do it wrong?" He says, "You're going to go right through the roof, probably kill me." I said, "Oh God, no, I wouldn't kill you." He says, "Well, you might." He says, "But we're going to give it a try. What do you say?" "Okay." I said, "Sure." And he He said, you used to be in rescue, right? You've probably seen this done in the ER. I said, yeah, I think I have, but gee, they usually do it with like a tool, not a paper clip. He said, well, there'll be no germs on that paper clip when I'm through. Watch what I'm going to do. And he turns on his Bunsen burner. He's got a pair of pliers, and he's heating that thing up red hot. And he says, okay. He says, here we go. Now, I don't have anything to strap you down to. You're just going to have to let me get in front with my back to you. You get behind me, wrap your one arm around me, your good arm, and hold tight. I'm going to hold your hand, okay? He says, I'm going to hold your hand out, and I'm going to count. I'm going to hold it as tight as I can. Remember, if I do it right, it won't hurt a bit. I said, okay. He says, now I'm going to count to 10. You ready? I said, yeah. I'm like, oh, yeah. He says, okay, here we go. 1, going to 10. 1, 2, 3. It's done. I said, well, what about 10? He said, if I went to 10, the suspense would have been so much and you would have felt it. Did you feel it? No. I said, look at your fingernail. Hey, you put a hole in it. He says, yeah. He said, it didn't hurt, did it? I said, no. And it feels, oh, God, all this stuff's coming out of my fingernail. I said, oh, yeah. Oh, that's much better. Oh, he says, here, let's squeeze some more. And, you know, all this stuff's coming out. All the pressure's being relieved. Oh, I said, oh, thank you. Oh, that was so, I'm so glad I didn't have to wait any longer. Oh, that was starting to really hurt. He says, well, do you need any pain pills? I said, well, actually, right now, no, it don't hurt that bad. He says, I'm giving you some pain pills, not many. Here's a few. When you get home, take one, because your other fingers may start to ache in the night and like that. Keep this clean. You know how to keep a wound clean. I said, yeah. He says, and disinfectant, you can, if any gets into the hole, no big deal. That'll patch itself up in no time at all. And it'd be something to, you know, when you're at the bar, it's something to tell the girls. I said, yeah. And I said, you're right. And so he wraps it, dresses the wound. It looked, oh my God, it was like a big ball of gauze cling wrap. I go home, told my folks about it. Mom was going, oh, I wish I was there. Oh, Mom, please, you wouldn't have liked being there. She says, yeah, I know, but oh, my baby. I said, well, it don't hurt. And I think these are going to, the doctor said these are going to hurt in the morning, just achy, you know. And he gave me a pill to take. Okay, she says, well, there you go. She says, I made you some spaghetti. I said, well, that'll make me feel better too. And long story short, day or two, it was fine. Yep. But, oh, that hurt. Oh, my God. Getting it, the actual incident really was a pickle. Anyway, there you go. This might be my longest Lord's Prayer moment, but I seem to remember doing a lot of praying on the way to the doctor. And as I was had myself wrapped around the doctor, I think, yeah, there was some stuff going on there too. A little bit of praying. Anyway, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. So be it. Yeah, it was primitive, but it worked. Oh, my heavens. That was wild. Anyway, I thought you might like that story. Yeah. I hope it never happens to you. I'll see you later. Thank you, and God bless. Bye now.